Today, I want to show you something that most people don't think about, and that's pedals for the bass guitar. The electric guitar always has a plethora of pedals, but what about the bass? Well, we were given this pedal as a gift from a friend in church who not only used to play on the worship team, but has taught sound engineering for over 20 years. And it turns out, this might just be the only pedal you ever need. In worship, the bass guitar doesn't just add low end, it glues everything together. But getting that full punchy tone can be a challenge, especially if you're plugging directly into the board. But that's where this pedal comes in, the dUg Pinnick Tech 21 bass guitar pedal. The DP Tech 21 is not just a pedal, it's also a preamp, a DI box, an EQ pedal, a distortion pedal, a compressor, and most importantly, a tuner, all in one. It gives you the warmth and grit of a mic'd up amp without needing an amp on stage. Let's take a quick tour around the pedal, and then I'll show you how some of these settings sound. On the back, you have your input from the bass, a 1/4-inch output or headphones, and your power supply. On the left side, you have the XLR output, which eliminates the need for a DI box. On the top, you have these buttons, mix, on, and tuner. The on turns the pedal on and off, which works like a bypass to either have just the bass or have the pedal settings engaged. The mix turns the distortion on and off. You'll see the chunk and drive knobs light up red if it's activated. Then you have the tuner, which any musician knows this is the most important part. The XLR button allows you to engage the XLR out on the left. The headphone button tells the pedal that you're using headphones in the 1/4-inch out instead of plugging into an amp or something else. The shift button moves where the mid-range on the EQ knob is located. Unclicked, it sits about 700 Hz, but when pressed in, it moves the mid down to around 350 Hz. This gives you a little more control with your EQ and handy if you like to EQ at the instrument before sending it to the mixer. Then there's the gain button. Click gain to move the drive knob and control the gain going out of the pedal. Now let's take a look at the knobs on the top. Here we have the volume, which sends out as much volume as you want. Chunk, which is a little heavier distortion than the normal drive. High, mid, and low for your EQ settings. The compressor, which could be handy to use if you either don't have one at the mixer or you need more than what the sound techs have. And then drive, unchecking the gain button and using the drive knob as distortion to your sound. All right, enough talk. Now let me show you how it sounds. I'll play a simple riff and change the settings so you can hear how each knob affects the sound of the bass guitar. Whether you're on an analog board or a digital console, the DP Tech 21 gives your bass the tone and presence it needs consistently every time you play. This means less work for the sound techs and one great pedal for bass players. So if you're tired of weak, washed out bass tone in your worship mix, then this little box might be your best next step. Now, let me know if you've used it. I'd love to hear how it's working for you. Be sure to check out my Bass Guitar Made Simple course, and don't forget to get the free bass guitar cheat sheet, link in the description below. See you next time.